Let's talk about becoming a high value individual. This is so important. This is important in love, and this is important in business. If people don't see you as a high value individual, you're not going to be able to make the amount of money that you desire to make, and you are certainly not going to be able to have the kinds of relationships, even friendships, that I know that you crave and that you want in your life. So let's talk about it. And also, hi everyone. It is me, Pamela, aka the Awakened Aphrodite, and I am here to help you explode your bank account and your love life. Hi, Queen. So good to see you. So let's talk about becoming a high value individual. Whether this is in business, whether this is in love. And here's the good news. Becoming a high value individual is completely a mindset. It is 100% a mindset. Oh my gosh, we have 2 queens here. Oh my goodness. Yes, we are so blessed. 2 queens here. Oh my goddess. Yes, I'm gonna love on you all day, queen. Yes. And also, like, who isn't needy and procrastinates? Do you think I, like, never get needy and I never procrastinate? I do. I do both. So you're in good company. And someone says hashtag high value batch. Yes. So let's talk about this, right? Because I want all of you to value the fuck out of yourselves. Like, this is my mission in life, right? This is one of the reasons that I teach dominance, because I want you to give off this air that has people going, oh, I better not with this one, right? I better not F with this person. And I better value them or not even bother, right? So the good news is that this is only a mindset. Truly, this is only a mindset. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how people don't do this, because I think that that's going to give you some insight into how you do this. Most people don't value themselves, okay? Like, we live in a society, and this is especially true for a lot of women that I have worked with, right? And not only women, but this is especially true with women. We are indoctrinated and taught that we are, like the weaker sex, right? That we are whatever. Like, I don't need to go into it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And so this value in being a woman, right, is not something that many of us are taught. If anything, many women that I've personally worked with, that I've personally known, have had the experience of feeling like, well, I mean, I guess I offer something of value. I guess I bring something valuable to the table. And if that wasn't your experience, you are one of the lucky ones. Oh my goodness, another queen is here. What is happening? We are so blessed. We are so blessed. So I want you to come in closely. You must value yourself. Okay? Come in a little bit closer. Come in. Get up in here. Get up in here. You must value yourself. We cannot have you. We cannot have you walking through the world not valuing yourself. The trick is to understand that most people don't value themselves. And I don't know about you, right? I'm assuming that you've embarked on this journey, for many of you, called entrepreneurhood, right? Wanting epic relationships because you don't like normal, because you want better than normal, right? Better than what we're told that we can have. And if you want better than what you've been told you can have, it is essential that you value yourself. Here's the truth about valuing yourself. Anything other than you valuing yourself, anything other than valuing the skills that you bring to the table, and you have skills that you bring to the table, you have things that you bring to the table, is indoctrination, is a lie. There is no child, right, before the indoctrination begins, of course, pre-indoctrinated child, that's like, oh, I'm not valuable. The child's like, mommy, I'm hungry, feed me, right? I'm tired, let me sleep. Like, they have no concern. They don't even know what this whole value thing means. This concept around value is created by humans. And value changes, right? Like, what used to be valuable in the Renaissance era, like, let's talk about looks. The kinds of looks that were valuable in the Renaissance era and the kinds of looks that society tells us are valuable now, it's like not even the same thing. And so here we are, like guinea pigs and hamsters, like succumbing to what somebody's pointed and said, oh, you know what, this is going to be the thing now. It's a game that you can never win because at any given moment, it changes. Like, the value game changes. And it's so disconnected, right? In nature, where else in nature is there this concept of value? There's only the concept in nature of energy, right? Like, you don't see wolves going to one another, I'm more valuable than you. It's like not a thing. It literally doesn't exist anywhere else. It's made up. It's completely bullshit. It doesn't even exist. There's no such thing as one person is more valuable than another person. It doesn't fucking exist. So don't play a game that's been made up and doesn't exist and was made to suppress you. Do not involve yourself in games that were created to make you weak and controllable in all of these things. Because when you're playing a game, you're submitting to the game. And we have a rule in the palace, don't we? Tell me if you know what it is. Tell me if you know. I'll wait for a second. We have many rules in the palace. More incoming for everybody. I don't think I can say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. And nectar drip. You know what I'm saying. One of the rules in the palace is you are not allowed to submit to things or people that don't have your best interests in mind. And the game called value doesn't have your fucking best interests in mind, not one bit. So don't play that game. Don't submit to that invented concept. It's a bad idea. So instead, the game that you can play is the game that you create. You create what value is, since everybody else is making it up, right? Like, I want you to imagine that you're shopping for something, right? You're shopping for art, and you know nothing about art. Hey, Tona, I love you. You know nothing about art. You're like, oh, sure, what's this thing worth? You buy the thing and you're like, sure, $5. Some art collector comes around and is like, oh my gosh, I know exactly who painted that, and it's worth $10,000. at least, and they offer you $10,000. If you don't really care about art, you're not going to care. You're like, take it. Like, whoa, I made 10 grand or whatever. But also, I'm not really attached to this piece of art. Honestly, it's like a picture of a shoe. I could really do without it. Give me the money, right? Like, the other thing about value is not only is it an invented concept, it truly is to who. Valuable to who. And that's not a game that you can win because everybody has different sets of internal values, right? Everybody values different things more. There are some people that value touch more, right? There are some people that value someone cooking for them more. There are some people that value being held really tight and told that they're amazing. There's some people that are like, please don't hold me like that. I don't enjoy it, right? So you get to decide. And now I'm going to tell you how to do this, and then I'll wrap this up. If you have questions, also put them, comment below. You decide, since it's an invented concept, reinvent the concept. What does valuable mean? Let me tell you what valuable means to me. It means you're here. It means you're a person who wants to do better. It means you're a person that cares about other people. Do you even, I don't need to tell you, right? Look at the state of where we're at right now. If you care about the livelihood of people, if you are a deeply caring person, to me, that is the most valuable thing. If you care about people, that is the most valuable thing, because we live in a world where they're filled with deeply uncaring people, right? Someone's saying, okay, so if value is subjective, then why do I have to value myself? Like, won't some people value me even if I don't value myself? So, such a good question. Oh my goodness. I love a good question. Also, why do I hear like a train outside? I don't know what that is. Oh no, I do. They're selling sweet potatoes. Okay, I think that's what that is. I've never tried them. I hear that they're good. So you have to know what games other people are playing, right? So yes, it's made up. Yes, it's subjective. And you can do this two ways. You can just like cash it in and be like, it's not real. And that will appear to other people like value, or it could appear to other people that live in this paradigm of value. Like, you value yourself. You're just like, oh, I don't even, like, what even is that? Of course I'm valuable, right? Or of course I'm insert thing here, right? But what I find is, since we live in a reality where there is a created concept called value, right? Play that game, but reinvent it, right? Like, that is a concept that other people subscribe to. So, like, don't pretend that it doesn't exist. It's also a concept that we've all been brainwashed around, like, significantly. So just being like, oh, it's not real, and living that way might be too far for you, and for a lot of people, it might not be. You can be, for me, I'm like, I don't think value is real. I just decide how much I charge, and I know that I'm, worth it, right? I don't think it's real. I just decide how people treat me, and they treat me that way. It's not because I'm valuable. It's because I expect people to treat me a certain way, right? And I can also have the conversation saying, I'm deeply valuable. I am deeply valuable. And equally, I know it's an invented concept. Does that make sense? Because I know that other people live in the paradigm of human value, right? So I can't, even though I'm like, this isn't a real thing, I also know that people do live in that world, right? It's not helpful for me to be like, oh, it's not a real thing, unless I'm teaching you how to sit with this in a way that I feel like works really well, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about, right? When we're talking about value, and it feels gross when it's said like that. At least it does for me, right? So Stacy says, yeah, the duality. I don't subscribe to this made up thing, and I have to play on that field sometimes. Right. So it's also understanding other people's maps of the world, right? And being able to speak their language, the language that resonates. This is also how you do marketing, by the way. Marketing, you have to know how to speak to the people and speak in the words that they might be using and saying the things that they might be thinking, even though one of the biggest mistakes people make in marketing is like, you're talking about a concept that is so far out. You're like tantric, mind-blowing, whatever. And the person is like, I don't even know what that is. I just want my partner to fucking go down on me. You know what I mean? Like, good marketing is being able to speak and use the words that that ideal person would use and talk to them there, like meet people where they're at. So people tend to believe that value is a thing. I don't think value is a thing, right? I think even the concept of value is archaic, personally. And maybe archaic's not the right word, but I just think it's made up. Like, it's completely made up. Valuable to whom and in what specific situation, right? Like, if someone knows how to do CPR, if there's someone who knows how to do CPR and someone who's selling bread, well, if no one's having a heart attack, then, and everyone's hungry, the person with the bread is more valuable, right? In that moment. But if it was the other way around, the other person would be more valuable. But it doesn't mean that either person isn't valuable. They're both equally valuable. Right? They're both equally valuable. And the person who's not doing anything, who appears to not be doing anything in that moment, they're equally valuable too. Because we don't know what context is to come in any given situation, and to think that we do, right? I mean, that's kind of a whole other discussion. But let's talk about, hold on. Queen Deidre says, I bought 2 chairs off a lady today. She gave me a pair of chairs, human valued at $500 for $25. I thought it was crazy. Her house was upper middle class, and for a second, I got caught in the value of what she, that was valuable. Yeah, right? So here's the deal. Here's what I would invite you into anyways, right? Like, here's what I would invite you into, and then we'll wrap up. Since it's a made-up concept, you get to create the rules. I mean, which is amazing, right? Like, it's a made-up concept. You know that other people subscribe to it, so you know that other people, many other people, are constantly scanning for this thing called value. Cool. Good for them. Let them do that. And in the palace, right? What I teach and what I invite you to do here is what are you deciding it is? What are you deciding that it is? Because it's not real, right? If you're selling a coaching package for $30,000, $30,000 isn't your value. That's how much you're deciding to charge for your coaching package, right? And where we get these things sort of conflated can be very dangerous, right? Favorite Palace quote, Stacy says, is anything can mean anything. Absolutely correct, my queen. Anything can mean anything. So make it mean good things. Make it mean things. Be in reality, right? This isn't about like, oh, I live in this pretend world and nothing's real. I don't subscribe. What's value? I've never heard of value, right? Like, no. Like, live in reality. Be in reality, and also go, yeah, I can show up to have the conversation around value, right? I can show up, and there's ways of showing up that I teach, of course, so that you can have, if someone was like, well, what's your value? What do you think my value is, right? And make them feel uncomfortable instead of you feeling uncomfortable. And this is what I want to come back to, okay? Everything that I teach comes back to this. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel powerful. I want you so badly to know how powerful you are. I want you to know how good you are, inside and out. I want you to know how lucky anyone would be to be with you, be friends with you, be in your presence, work with you. You have magic inside of you that is deeply valuable. AKA people need it. There's a need for it, is what I'm saying. And that's a real thing. Right? That's a real thing. People needing healing, that is a real thing. People being hungry and needing bread, that is a real thing. Right? So how have you been keeping your inherent value of just existing, of just being you, of just being one of the, how many sperm is it? I should know this, right? I should know this. One of the thousands of sperm that made it into this incarnation. I would say you're fucking valuable. Like, the chances of you even being born, and the chances of you being born at a time like this, right? Where we have this thing called the internet, where we can connect to people. Do we have a lot of shit to work on? Yes. And we live in this amazing time where you can get your message all the way across the world, right? At the push of a button. That's amazing. Do it. Find your people. Call in your soulmate people, your soulmate relationships, your soulmate clients, because they are waiting for you, right? What makes you valuable is the sweat that's dripping down your body, right? Is the way that you breathe, is the way that you move, is the way that you love, the way that you see people. This is what makes you valuable. It's not what we're taught, right? All of the things that we're taught is so that you buy more things. It's been hijacked, it's been used, it's been abused, this concept. So come back to your innate value. Know that you have magic to share with people. And that everyone should be so lucky to experience you. And not from a better than sort of place, just, yeah, you should be so lucky to experience them too. And also be willing to show up and do the work, right? Also be willing to, you know, if you're a coach, be your own product. Like really, really. Oh, hi Megs, I love you. Nope says, we are walking each other home in the inevitable nature of things. Oh, yes. That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Thank you for saying that. Okay, my kings, my queens, my royal people, you are valuable. And I love you so deeply. And you don't need to change anything to be that. Right? Fuck the people that made it mean anything else other than you and being here and knowing this about yourself. I love you so much. I love you too, Stacy. I love you, Mama. Son, I love you, Megs. I love you, Nope. I love you all so deeply. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you. And I'll talk to you soon. I love you. Oh, and I have a very exciting announcement coming out tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. I'll let you know, okay? When my assistant tells me we're ready, we're ready. And I'll let you know. I love you. Have a good evening. I love you.